Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play the Hordes of the Underdark, and when we last left off, seems like all of those quote-unquote slaves were just a giant trap. Like that 42 gold. A giant trap. Well, this is probably a trap. Nope, 35 gold. For being extremely powerful monsters, these Rakshasas have terrible loot. Hi kid, we have loads of loot. So, Boots of the Sun Soul and Honor and Death. Well, Honor and Death is probably the two-bladed sword. Now I can't even use that because it needs to be used by something lawful, and Rakshasas are lawful evil. And I can't use those because they're usable only by a monk. Let's go activate the portal stone. Ta-da! Portal create! If only I'd have just done that. Oh,
you know what
hello.
Elminster says about Undermountain? The largest known masquerade in Faerun
These
today.
outsiders can be tricky.
Yep, of course you would. You believe it now because you've seen firsthand all of the death that this place can bring. Next, we kill the Adept. The Adept is casting loads of spells at me, like Fireball, and is going to die first. Well,
Careful! These
yep. And now you. And summoned Wolf.
Careful! These outsiders
Don't
can
kill
be tricky.
Sharwin. Don't. Yes, thank you. Focus on me. I'm quite tough. There we go. I leveled. Hurrah! That's cool. Another Rakshasa Eye. Another Rakshasa Eye. Let's level. Seems like a good plan. Another level of Cleric. Another rank in Concentration, as that's an important skill. Another rank in Persuade, because that's an important skill. And a rank in Law. And that's it. Any more spells that we've learned for today? No. Ooh, another 4th level spell. Nice. Death Ward, I think, should now be a permanent addition to our list. Another 6th level spell. They already have 2 planar allies? Why? What's Greater Sanctuary do? No. Greater Dispelling, though. And a Blade Barrier. We already have Blade Barrier prepared. Undeath to Death, I think. 7th? 8th? We have 9th level spells now. Storm of Vengeance, for instance. Implosion! The caster creates a vortex of destruction that tears asunder all living things within the area, killing them instantly unless they make their saving throw. And a gate summons a Balor. Well, do we have protection from evil? Why not? We now need this. Because now we can summon forth a Balor, because that's certainly the nicest and most good-aligned thing we could possibly do. And by that, I mean it's completely and utterly evil. Also, there's an arrow pointing to the throne. In fact, there are loads of arrows pointing to the throne. I imagine that carpet is extremely important. So we are now the famed level 17, and we can now summon a Balor to assist us. It does seem a bit cheaty, but I imagine later a Balor is inconsequential. And there is an Inflict Moderate Wound scroll, because that was the true loot of this dungeon. And some cruddy potions. And a healer's kit, okay. These are the random ones, clearly. And that. What about this? The sarcophagus before you has been hastily stuffed with the mangled body of Linu, the priestess of close the lid and let her rest it. No, bring her back to life. The elven cleric brushes herself off slowly, rubbing her head. She seems a little confused as she casts about, looking for something to help get her bearings. Linu, it's me, Sharwin. Do you know where you are? Sharwin? Yes, Sharwin. I remember you, dear. It's starting to come back to me now. A battle at Durnham's Inn, I remember. You seem to be doing much better than when I last saw you, dear. It's good to know you're safe and sound. It's only thanks to Barry here. He found me and raised me from the dead, just like we did with you. What happened to you, Linu? Everything's still a bit hazy. Let me see. I remember you getting hit by an arrow and going down, and I remember Dalen let out a war cry and raced off down the corridor without a second thought. And then Tommy scampered off in the opposite direction. An army of drow appeared out of nowhere, and I knew I had no chance against them alone, so I ran after Tommy. You mean you just left me there? How very heroic of you. I'm sorry, dear, but I wouldn't have been much good to you if I was dead myself. Besides, I always intended to come back and raise you later. That's okay, I guess. Still, I figured you would have followed Dalen rather than pair up with a rogue. Dalen's a mighty Uthgard warrior, dear. Tommy's just a little guy. I figured he'd need more help than a half-orc. I also thought it might be a good idea to keep a watchful eye on our resident rogue. It's not that I don't trust him, but sometimes he needs a little convincing to do the right thing. How did you end up stuffed inside the sarcophagus? The Rakshasa must have tried to hide me in there so they could continue their ruse. I can't believe I actually thought they were slaves and wanted to help them. I see the Rakshasa are all dead now. Good. They were creatures of pure evil, and their very existence was an affront to everything I stand for. I suppose I should thank you for that too, dear. What are you going to do? Well, it's obvious I'm not going to make it out on my own if I stay down here. I suppose I should go back to Dalen's Inn, at least for now. That's probably for the best. I imagine there are more than a few people who will need my healing powers back at the inn. Don't worry, dear. I'm confident I can make it back on my own. Goodbye and good luck. Everyone's counting on you now, dear. Well, it is now just me and Sharwin and Deacon, because we've rescued every single one of them. Hooray! And now that we have a portal, we can teleport straight to Waterdeep and straight to the blacksmith. See? Magic portal. I do feel a bit sorry for the first little, kid that accidentally walks in and goes, dum, 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 oh dear god, portal! And then they end up in a magical plane of death. Come on. I have things to sell. I definitely have things to sell. Things I do not need. Thank you. Your reaction may be unfavorable, but you're close by. Nobody needs a sickle. And an elven court bow. Mirrored armor? That's padded. Don't need that. The mirror shield. Could hold on to it, I guess. I'm not holding on to that, though. That's just leather armor. Well, saying that, what's Deacon using? Well, nobody uses a double axe, as far as I know. And nobody... One bow's better than the other one, isn't it? The elven court bow. So we'll sell that. And I don't think there's a monk in the future, so we'll sell that. Loads of bows of really weird stuff. Cowl of Warding. Could be useful. Hide armor +2, however, is not. Gloves of the Long Death are not. Death armor potion. Might be handy. A dagger +3, however, will not be. And I don't think I'm going to be getting any giants anytime soon. The Ice Talon, similarly, not useful. What else isn't? Oh my word, my inventory is full of crud. Don't need that. Don't need that, or that, or that. So many iron stones. So many little bottles and potions that I'm just carrying around. And we won't need that either. Any cool heavy flails? Just gonna have a look. No. There's a trident +3. Didn't even know that was there. Wow. She's selling honor and death for that much. What about you guys? Are you carrying anything interesting? Anything that I need to sell? There are a few things. Some striding. Small shield. I suppose we'll let you keep those. What about you?
Yes? Is there something you need?
Anything I can take off you? No, not really. Oh yeah, I said I'd look at Deacon's armor, didn't I? What are you currently wearing? Greenleaf. Okay, that's far better. That is far better than improved evasion armor. You always laugh slightly creepily, don't you? Mirror shield is interesting. And a nymph's cloak +3.
Deacon?
What are you currently using? No cloak at all? Well, that's going to change, isn't it? Have mine. I'm only really, you know, just hanging out with my cloak I've got until I can get my old equipment back, because I'm pretty sure I had a pretty good cloak. At least one that provided more than just charisma. Charisma's fine, but it doesn't actually provide me with any tangible benefit whatsoever. So let's go. So this brought me back here. Now we can go, hopefully, to level 3. Level 3 is going to prove to be an interesting one. I think level 3 is the last level of the depths. Where is Sharwin? Sharwin is a bit behind. Okay. Okay, middle area we go, because we have explored all of the other areas. I miss my old equipment. I really do. I miss all of my old stuff. I wouldn't mind having it back. Like my dragon full plate. This is a pool of colours. And pedestals.
A moment, if you would.
What is it, Sharwin? I can't believe we're still running around down here. That relic you carry, can't it teleport you past all these obstacles? What do you know about my relic? I've heard about it. You're somewhat famous, remember? It can only take me to places I've already been. Well, that's sort of useless. Actually, it's kind of useful if you think about it. She frowns thoughtfully. I suppose you're right. I really should be surprised that teleportation works at all in here. It's not supposed to. I'm just feeling a little on edge. She glances away, looking embarrassed. I guess we've been down here quite a while without really getting anywhere. Well, that's how it feels. Don't worry, we'll be fine. She stares at you for a long moment before continuing. You say that, but how can you guarantee anything? It's not as if you and I have known each other very long. I just keep thinking of when you found me down here. Her expression becomes pensive. I was killed so quickly. And if you hadn't found me... Sharwin sighs heavily and then puts a half-hearted smile. I guess what I'm afraid of is a bad ending. To end so cheaply. To not even see the big climax. Do you understand what I'm talking about? But I did find you. Your story isn't over yet. She looks at you with a sudden smile. So you do understand. Thank you, I appreciate that, but now is really not the time. I shouldn't whine like this. My story's not what's important here. Let's move on. I think that's a subtle hint for... Hint, hint! I'm not going to be around for the entire game. And you're probably not. But when we come back, we'll see what's behind door number 2! And head down to the 3rd floor. Catch you later. See you then.